بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وأعنا على العمل بما علمتنا. O Allah, we ask you to teach us what benefit us and let us benefit from what we learn and increase our knowledge. Today, inshallah, we will continue our series of halaqas, knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is lesson number 28. And today, inshallah, we are going to talk about two characters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's in His names, Al-Qabidu wal-Basit. I'm going to try to explain Al-Qabid and Al-Basit in English, but inshallah we'll put more lights onto these names as we talk. Al-Qabid, it translates into the constrictor, the restrainer, the one that withholds things from you, the seizer of things. He prevents you from getting things. So, in Arabic, the word qabada, which is a verb, that's mean when you grab something. So you are constricting and restraining things that could happen. And the opposite of that is al-basit. Al-basit is the expander, is the extender, is the one who can give you everything, open up things for you, give you plenty, spread things for you, grants you plenty of things. So we have a constrictor and an expander, al-qabidu wal-basit. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Al-Quran Kareem, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والله يقبض وَيَبْسِطْ وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constrict, restrain, withhold, and وَيَبْسِطْ. He expand, He extend, He spread, and we all are going back to Him. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the hadith narrated by Abu Dawood, the Prophet says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْمُسَعِّرُ Al-Qabidu Al-Basit. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the assigner's value, Al-Musa'ir, and Al-Qabid, the constrictor, the restrainer, and Al-Basit, the expander and the extender. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about these characters in the Quran, and He said, Allahu yabsutu al-rizqa liman yasha'u min ibadihi wa yaqdiru lahu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala extend the livelihood, the sustenance to His creatures, to whomever wills from His creatures. So Al-Qabidu and Al-Basit. We're gonna, as we go inshallah into this lesson, we're gonna refer to Al-Qabid as the constrictor, the restrainer, and Al-Basit to the expander and to extender. And as we go through, as we learn in these halaqas and lessons, inshallah, the main goal of these things, of learning about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is how we are going to apply these names into real life, because that's what matters. First, Al-Qabid wal-Basit, the restrictor and the expander. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constrict and expand the livelihood and the sustenance of each one of us as He wills. Also, He constrict our souls when we die, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create the baby, He can also bring it back to us in the day of judgment and for the babies who are born. That's one aspect of applying this name. Another important aspect, and this is only for the true believers, to the one who believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at least for the past 27 or maybe 25 lessons we talked about, we knew about him, about his characters, and understand these and believed in them. This two names, Al-Qabidu and Al-Basit, apply to these people only right now. This is what I'm going to talk about. This does not include people who does not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or they don't really trying to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These two actions, the constrictor and the expander, also apply to the emotional state of a human being. And it also applies to the emotional state of the true believer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can constrict the true believer's emotions. And what that means is, that person becomes sad, depressed, worried, anxious, afraid, with no obvious reason. He prays, nothing happened. Read Quran, doesn't feel any good. Listen to halaqas, doesn't faze him. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constricting, restraining that true believer's emotions. And He also can expand and extend, yabsit, his emotions. And that's when he feels happy, confident, full of confidence, feels like the whole world in the palm of his hand, afraid of nothing. He's on top of everything. That's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yabsit, when you get closer to Him. So a lot of times people who start their road towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, straighten things up, wanting to get closer to Him, they will at some point get into these states. One state of expansion where they're happy and they, everything is good, and the other state of constrictions where they're sad, depressed, they don't know what's the problem. Even though from the materialistic standpoint everything is fine, it just, they lose that strength, that tranquility that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to His true believers. So, why these two states happens? Because some people think, if they make tawbah and they start doing the right things and they straighten their life and reading Quran and getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're going to feel good, they're going to feel happy. Maybe initially, and then after a while, this depression, this sadness comes into them, and some of them might have some doubts. But this is a treatment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only for the true believers. Because when He puts you in an emotional state of expansion, feeling happy, confident, you are on top of the world, afraid of nothing. If that stays for a long time, you might get lazy on doing good deeds. You might become arrogant. You might be more proud of what you do because you are praying more than the others. You are doing more right thing than the others. So you get in a state of arrogance. And you think that only Allah was just for you because you are doing the right thing. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring the other state. The state of constriction, depression, sadness, worries, and you try to find out what happened, and you can't find a reason. This is Allah to bring you down, to remind you that you are a creature, and that you are in His hand. And that state will make you get closer to Him. You start reading more Quran, doing more prayer, making more dua, all of this, so you get closer to Him. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He wishes, bring you back to the other state. Now this is only for the true believers. And He does not constrict you too much to the degree where you give up completely. لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. So he it depends on how strong your iman is. He will keep squeezing you until you get to the point, and then He expands for you. Kind of part of training for the true believer. And then when He expands for you and you just ride that wave and don't remember who you are, then He'll bring you down again to where you are, to remind you. Because there are some reasons that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring the constriction emotional state on the true believer. The state where sadness, worries, unhappy, fear. Some of these reasons we really should know about so we can avoid them. So the true believer's state of emotion most of the time will be in the expander section, not in the constrictor section. One of these main reasons is arrogant and thinking that you are the best. Whatever it is in your religion, because you're praying more, you're reading more, you know more. Whatever it is in your money, because you're making more money. Whatever it is because of the status in the society, because you hold a high position, so you are better than others. So you get that arrogant status built on you. That will bring a constrictor status from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the true believer. Other cause is, if you have suspicions about your religion, your aqidah, your creed is not pure. You have doubts. If there is an issue and there are different scholars doing different opinions, the majority of the scholars says this is haram, and 1 or 2 or 3 says al-halal. You take the halal ones because it fits you. So you have suspicious about your deen, about Islam, about the characters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have some suspicions about some ayat in the Quran. These things, we can't do this these days because it's not, everybody's doing something different. That will bring the constrictor status into the emotions of the true believers. A shirk associating with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the hidden shirk. A shirkul khafi. When you for 1 second think that somebody or something has the power to do anything, whether it's good or bad, to you, beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or you are performing acts to please a creature at the expense of disobeying the Creator. Allah says don't do it, but you want to do it because this person is going to get upset with me. He's going to fire me. He's going to hurt me. So I'm going to obey this creature and disobey the Creator Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's one way of shirk associated with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That will bring the constrictor status into your emotions. And that's one of the most dangerous, most common one. Because if you die on it, there is no forgiveness. Allah forgive everything else except this one, shirk. So the true believer always has to ask himself or herself, what status I am in right now? I am in a constrictor, restrainer, sadness, worries, depressed status with my relation to Allah. Or am I in the expander status? I'm happy, I'm confident, I feel Allah is close to me, I feel Allah with me. You have to be in either one of these states. There is no third state. That's for the true believers only. I'm either in the status of Al-Qabid, constrictor, or Al-Basit, the expander. Some people would say, with all due respect, I have no idea what you're talking about. This expander, constrictor, doesn't even, I don't even understand it. It doesn't even apply to me. I'm working, I'm making money, I have house, cars, busy with life. This doesn't mean nothing. Here's the problem. If a person does not have these two status that he knows or she knows which one he or she is in, the problem could be big. And the problem could be what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran several times. It's called al-ghafla. Heedlessness. Careless. You're not even there. Al-ghafla. And this status, unless you've been through it, it's a very dangerous. You can see the right in front of your eyes. You can see the warning signs in front of your eyes, and you have paid no attention to it. The heart is sealed, the eyes has covers on him, and the ears are plugged up. Al-ghafla, the heedlessness. So that could be the status that a person is in. That's why they have no idea on what emotional state are they with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Are they sad, depressed, feel like they were pulled away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Or are they in al-basit status where they feel so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala they are full of confidence? If you don't have these two, you don't know which one you're in, there might be a big problem. The big problem could be one of these things, which is the main thing, al-ghafla, the heedlessness. Not even being with the concept of knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me give you a small example of what that looks like. Because if you don't wake up from ghafla, if you're in it, the only way is hellfire. Imagine going to travel in Arkansas or some places where they have mountains and stuff. You drive your car to the top of the mountain, very beautiful views. Subhanallah, get closer to Allah, watching His creation. And we get to the top of the mountain. And now it's time to come down. You're in your car, you start coming down, beautiful views, the car is going down nicely and slowly, and speed builds up. And the more speeds build up, the more, we're going fast, you're enjoying the rides, the windows are open, the air is blowing, the scenery is good. And then halfway there, there's a sign that says, sharp turn. Your speed should be 15 and your speed is 60. And then you put your foot on the brake. Gotta slow down. There's a sharp bend. If you keep straight, you're going to be off the mountain. And if you turn at the speed of 60, you're going to tumble over, be off the mountain. You put your feet on the brake, but there's no brake. Then you wake up. There's no escape. Disaster. And this is exactly what the ghafla does to you. You're coming down the road, enjoying, but you did not think. Before you come down, let me see if the brakes are working. They have signs for me telling me, check your brakes. Steep decline. I just ignored it and even paid attention to it. And I kept going. It's the same thing. Never thought about Allah, never thought about where this creation comes from, never thought about why I am here, what is my purpose, what I'm supposed to be. Busy with life, busy with making money, buying houses, buying cars, how much I have in the bank account, how much. I'm so busy, brother, so busy, I don't have time. I'm not saying don't buy big houses, buy a big house, buy a big car, but put some time to know your Creator, to learn your deen. They don't have time. And this is the ghafla. Too busy with life. Of course you won't know until it's too late. And hopefully it will be not too late. So al-ghafla is one of the biggest thing. And one of the dangerous thing about al-ghafla is you can be in it without even knowing. Why? Because the dunya, the life, it just encompasses you in every aspect. I will not go to the halaqah because I need to do this. It's too late. I'm too tired. I have to do this. I have to do that. Do this and do that. And put some time also to learn your deen. Now, when a true believer gets in the status of al-qabid, the constrictor, the emotional constrictions, feeling sad, feeling down, depressed, unhappy, just feeling you're not really too close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You pray, there's not much emotions, there's no read Quran, it's not doing anything to you. Then there are some things that the true believer should think about and review. You need to find out, if you can, what brought you to this state. Why are you in this status? If you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His characters and who He is, I shouldn't be feeling sad this way with no reason. So how the true believer interact with the status of al-qabid, the constriction, the emotional constrictions, the feeling down with relation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First, the true believer, he knows that in this life, if Allah prevented you from getting something, it is good for you no matter how good you think it is good for you. Why? Because Allah knows more than you do. So you are engaging in a selling, buying process, whatever it is, applying for a job or something, and things did not work out. That sometimes make you feel a little bit upset, but should not put you in that state. You say, oh, Allah knows, this is probably not good for me. Even if it looks good for you. That's how the true believer reacts with that. So all these earthly, materialistic disappointments, it make you a little bit, upset, but not to the degree where you just are out of the in a depressed, really severely depressed status. Second, I didn't get this job. Did not get it because I didn't fix my resume the way it's supposed to? I didn't get to pass this exam. Is it because I didn't study? Well, if you didn't study, you're not going to pass. There are certain jobs that have certain requirements. You don't have the requirements, you're not going to get the job. Don't blame it on Allah. So if you did something because you did not fulfill the cause to achieve it, you shouldn't be sad. You say, I did not study hard enough for this test. I didn't really pay much attention to my resume. I didn't really have the enough qualification to do this. Then that's a natural consequences. Or it could be as a warning sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for something I'm doing that He's not pleased with me with it. Am I earning haram money? Am I lying? Am I doing ghiba, backbiting? Am I good to the wife and the kids and people who I deal with? Check that. Because that could be like the red light in the car. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send you a little message. A wake up message. Or if you couldn't find any cause, all of us, alhamdulillah, we have stores of bad deeds in our past and present. So maybe ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to wipe some of my bad deeds with this. That could be also a reason for that. And if you can't find any other reason, you just the perfect one, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to relieve the status away from you. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you submit to Him. There is no escape from Allah except to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And maybe that's what He wants you to do. He wants you to be more submissive to Him, so He will relieve that status, emotional status of constrictions from you. Now, the constriction and the expansion also for the people who are not the true believers, people who's not really following Allah's way as close as they can. This is, of course, as a result of their bad behavior. This has had nothing to do with them being closer to Allah or not closer to Allah. These people are under the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that says in the Quran Kareem, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. This is your creator, my creator, and everything's creator is telling you a simple law in life. Whomever turn away from Allah. أعرض عن ذكري. Dhikr here does not just mean mentioning Allah's name. Dhikr in its expanded meaning, following Allah's way all the way in all aspects of your life. People who do not do that, this is your Quran is saying, فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. He has a life, in this life, a depressed life. Why? Because they did not follow Allah's way. And in the day of judgment they will be gathered as blind. So, anybody tells you that does not follow Allah's way, that they're happy, they're liars. Because if they, no matter what they say, it's not what they say, it's what their real life is about. I can say anything. I can say to you, I'm happy and I'm really depressed, fixing to kill myself. So the word does see what their real life is all about. Anybody who does not follow Allah's way all the way, in all the aspect they can, their life is depressed, miserable life. Now they can have cars, money, billions, houses, they can have whatever they have. But inside, their life is dunk, is depressed, is miserable, is not happy. So that's for the non-believers. Now, if somebody has no exposure to Islam at all, no religion at all, they can also get into that state of constriction because of al-fitrah, the instinct that Allah created inside of us. If somebody lives, let's say, in the deep jungles of South America, okay, never exposed to this civilization or any deen or any religion, they know by fitrah, by instinct, that if you steal something from someone, That's not right. And they get depressed because of that. If you lie to somebody, you're not telling the truth, it's not right. And you get depressed because of that. So even if you have no learning about deens and religions, your instinct, al-fitra that Allah created for us, always remind you and make you feel bad about what you did, Because when you try to steal, you don't steal in front of everybody, you hide. You try to hide from stealing. Now, of course, there are causes in life that make us a little bit sad, a little bit upset, a little bit angry every once in a while. If a loved one died or you lost somebody or something, that's normal things in life. That status of feeling a little sad, a little depressed about your lost loved one, it's a temporary that has a reason for it. And usually doesn't last. I mean, if you have a loved one, the first couple of days really bad, next week a little easier, a month later, couple of months, a year later, it just is gone. But it does not make you feel depressed and kind of destroy your life, destroy the function of your life for a long period of time. This is true believers, non-believers, whomever, they get it all the time. We lose children, we lose money, we get sick, we get hurt. It's part of life. But the problem is, some of these things for the non-believers could be it can destroy their life. Some people commit suicide because their loved ones died, or they becoming drug addicts and whatever because they got separated from somebody or something like that. That's for the sum of the non-believers. The last concept I want to go over it is that, and hopefully inshallah will help us in this time in that don't say or don't believe that a person, they got so much power, so much money because they did this and they did that. I earned my degree because I studied hard day and night and I did this and I did that. That person is rich because they know what they're doing. The true believer never attribute that to that person. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاللَّهُ فَضَّلَ بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ فِي الرِّزْقِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favored some of you over others in provisions. And this rizq could be money, knowledge, status in society. It could include a lot of things. Why? Because each one of us has a rizq, has something set up for them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In your lifetime, you're going to earn this much money. Some of us are going to be poor, some of us are going to be rich. If you're poor, that doesn't mean Allah doesn't like you. And if you're rich, that doesn't mean Allah likes you. Allah made Fir'aun, King Qarun, one of the richest people at that time. Okay? Prophet Muhammad wasn't rich. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if this person is going to be rich, He makes the causes come to him. So when He strikes a deal, Allah makes it win. When He does something, Allah makes it goes. Always you have to think that. Okay? Not because of their smartness. Now, doing the causes, you have to do it. You have to give an appreciation for doing the cause. I mean, he wants to work and he works hard. Yes, some people work hard and make $100. Some people work a lot less harder and make $1,000. Mathematically, it doesn't add up. But they took the cause and Allah gave them to what He ordained for them to have in this life. So that doesn't mean I just sit here and say, okay, Allah gonna make me have some money, then I just wait for it. No. You go out, you do what you can, you take the causes that Allah give it to you because He gave you the cause to do it, and then whatever comes to the true believer, he's happy with it. You probably sometimes doing the same job as the other person, but the other person is maybe making 10 times what you're doing. It's no problem. As long as you're doing your job the right way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give me this much. If you want to expand, if there's a room for expansion, go ahead. But be satisfied as a true believer in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordained for us. Because He's telling us, Allahu faddal. Allah, He is the one who makes some people earn more than others. Finally say, if you get closer to Allah, you're going to get to the emotional status of expansion. If you turn away from Allah, you're going to turn into the emotional status of constrictions, and always be wary of al-ghafla, the heedlessness. That is a very dangerous status that will keep you away from Allah, and you can listen to this halaqah and say, I have no idea what you're talking about. I would recommend you go sit down by yourself and see, where do I stand as far as the ghafla, the heedlessness go. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.